Hello and welcome to my channel, Astro Cheryl. Now, this is your astrological forecast for March 2026. And welcome. Now, before I get into the forecast, I want to speak about the parade of planets that are aligning on the 28th of February in the evening between 8 and 9. They will all be visible. And this is connected to a reset within each and every one of us. However, some of you who are not awakened may not feel it as deeply as those who are on their journey and that are walking with intention. Okay, and the 6 planets are Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune. Okay, so with this massive reset happening, we're starting to see signs of it on a global level. We're looking at the U.S. and Iran, the U.S. and Israel invading Iran and Tehran. We're also seeing that the Russians, the Chinese, North Koreans, and Cuba are all starting to get involved, even the UK. Okay, so this is massive. And to, create a third world war is not in our best interests for the U.S. Okay, and it's in nobody's best interest. But this is some of what we are seeing unfolding at this present moment. Now, we also have a total lunar eclipse that is occurring in March, early March, and this will have an effect on us. It's a 2-year cycle that's it's waking up, and this is karmic energy, and it's happening in the sign of Virgo. So with this total eclipse energy, there is a lot that we are having to face going forward. So let me just get into a little bit of this full moon and lunar eclipse. Okay, so it's going to be happening on the 3rd, and they call it a worm full moon. But with this total eclipse coinciding with it, it becomes a blood moon, and it'll be 82 minutes, and we will be able to see the color blood moon on the 3rd. And we won't have another total lunar eclipse until New Year's Eve of 2028. Okay? So with this being in the sign of Virgo, this lunar eclipse is exposing the truth. Okay? Virgo, it doesn't create chaos. It diagnoses it with precision, because Virgo is all about the boxes and perfectionism. Virgo rules our habits, how we organize, our discipline, our health, our daily routine, and our self-criticism, and our perfection patterns. Okay? So this lunar eclipse exposes what we've been tolerating, okay, just going along with, such as where we are overgiving, overthinking, where we have been ignoring our body, where we have been staying out of obligation, and where our standards have quietly lowered. This lunar eclipse is activated on the karmic axis of the Pisces North Node and Virgo South Node at this time. And these nodes happen every 18 months. So we're at the end of the North and South Node in Pisces and Virgo. So come July, we'll be in Aquarius North Node and Leo South Node. Okay? So these nodes represent past karma, unfinished lessons, emotional patterns, and contracts, and cycles that repeat until they are corrected. Okay? So this is the big reset for humanity that is occurring now, because once we get into this total lunar eclipse, we'll be different people. Okay? You may not notice it right away, but it'll take a year before we start seeing the difference from where we are now to where we will be when we get there. Okay, so I'm not going to talk a lot about the whole month forecast, because this total lunar eclipse and this full moon and this new moon that's coming on the 18th is holding a whole lot of energy, and we need to talk about that and be aware of it so that we can act accordingly. But you know, with Pisces involved, it's about going with the flow, and we will talk about each sign as I go forward. So I'll see you on the other side. Hello to my beautiful Aquarius risings out there. Welcome to my channel, Astro, and this is your monthly forecast for March of 2026. Okay, before I get into the forecast, I just want to let you know that I spilled the tea in the introduction, and if you haven't taken a listen or a look, please do, because it has information in there that may help you along this month's journey. Okay, so I'm going to get right into the forecast, starting with the 2nd of March. Mars enters Pisces at 0 degrees in your second house, and this is your second house of self-worth, your finances, your value system, your possessions. Okay? And did I say, yeah, I said your self-worth. Okay, so here, Mars in Pisces softens your actions into an empathetic, flowing drive, often guided by intuition rather than force. Okay, you may feel motivated to provide for loved ones through patience, heartfelt efforts, but watch for emotional spending or blurred financial boundaries. Okay, because Pisces energy is boundless, and it blurs your thinking processes. Expect a push towards steady wealth building rather than taking bold risks. You may resolve old value related patterns or becoming a selfless giver. No, or being a selfless giver. Okay? Impulses could lead to impulsive buys that is tied to your feelings. So balance your heart and your head. On the 3rd, we have a full moon in Virgo at 12 degrees, and this full moon is called a worm moon, and it coincides with a total lunar eclipse, which is called a blood moon. And this blood moon can be seen in the Americas and East Asia and Australia. Okay? So this is happening in your 8th house of death, transformation, shared resources, other people's money, like maybe your parents, debts, and taxes, banking, psychological issues. Just know you might be psychic, not crazy. And this is also a psychic house, a very intuitive house as well. So, this is a turning point that potentially ends toxic cycles for you. Great. Expect culminations in financial entanglements or emotional bonds. Okay? That's if you are in it with someone, okay? Because this is definitely relationship stuff. Or it also could mean, your parents as well. You could be handling their finances. The karmic reveal is to release your inner critic, your ancestral trauma, or your control patterns around merging with others. Yeah, this house is also about power and control. Well, that says a lot, because with this full moon in Virgo, this is representing past life energy that is showing up here in your 8th house that you can start to transform, okay? Because there's transformative energy here. Now, on the 8th of March, we have retrograde Mercury in Pisces in your 2nd house as well. So expect delays, second guessing, or revisiting past financial decisions such as contracts, loans, purchases, or salary talks. Okay? This urges you to double check numbers and agreements. Pisces softens Mercury's usual sharp logic. So decision making may feel more emotional, intuitive, or vague, because Pisces is going to blur things. You may struggle with clarity around money or be tempted to escape financial reality. Okay, so if you haven't really evolved, then, you're going to have to deal with some of this. But those who have evolved may have not have to worry about this. And depending on the degree in which the moon is in, and Mars is in, because I think Mars is 0 degrees Pisces, and that's a critical degree, and this new moon is at 28 degrees of Pisces, which is another critical degree. This is like ending something so that something new can come in. So this new moon signals a fresh start in your values, finances, and your self-worth, infused with this Pisces intuitive, compassionate energy. Okay, you are reflecting money as energy that flows like water. Okay, now that's something special right there because that is what money is, all right? You may feel inspired to align your earnings with your soulful talents or manifest through trust rather than rigid control, all right? And that rigid control can happen from the axis of Virgo in the eighth house, okay, which you are taming and releasing and resetting. So you should be, you know, you should be doing well, okay, on this axis. All right. Now, Aquarius rising, this is your forecast for March 2026. And until next time, bye for now.